Welcome everyone, join us today as we delve into the life and legacy of DUANE EDDY, the trailblazing guitarist whose deep echoing twang left an unforgettable mark on rock and roll. So let's dive in. DUANE EDDY, born April 26, 1938, in Corning, New York, in United States of America. The eldest of three children, DUANE was born in the small town of Corning, nestled along the Chemung River in New York State. His parents were Alfred Eddy, who worked first as a bread deliveryman and later as a grocery store manager, and Alberta Granger. Inspired by cowboy star Gene Autry, DUANE picked up the guitar at just 5 years old. The Eddy family, including younger siblings Glenn and Elaine, eventually relocated westward to Tucson, and later to Coolidge, Arizona. At 16, DUANE formed a musical duo with friend Jimmy Delbridge called Jimmy&Duane. Their weekly broadcasts on a local radio station led to a fateful meeting with Lee Hazlewood, a Korean War veteran turned DJ with ambitions to become a songwriter and producer. Hazlewood soon became a central figure in DUANE's musical journey. After performing briefly in the local country group Buddy Long and the Western Melody Boys, DUANE's career took a turn. In 1957, he swapped his Gibson Les Paul for a Chet Atkins model Gretsch 6120, a hollow-body guitar known for its distinctive look and sound, priced at a steep $385 at the time. Under Hazlewood's guidance and with financial backing from music business figure Lester Sill, DUANE entered a studio in Phoenix that Hazlewood had altered by installing an improvised echo chamber built from a 2,000-gallon water tank. With a group of session players, DUANE recorded 4 tracks. One of them, Movin' and Groovin', co-written with Hazlewood, was picked up by the Philadelphia-based RCA Records and released under the name DUANE EDDY and the Rebels. The single charted in the US Top 100, and the follow-up, Rebel Rouser, became a breakout success. The fact that Dick Clark, host of American Bandstand, owned 25% of RCA Records would prove to be very helpful for DUANE's TV exposure, appearing on the show 6 times between 1958 and 1960. In mid-1959, DUANE put his distinctive stamp on the theme from the television detective series Peter Gunn, reworking Henry Mancini's sleek original into a darker, more intense instrumental. The track, with saxophonist Steve Douglas taking a lead role, was overdubbed at Hollywood's famed Gold Star Studios. With its signature low twang guitar sound, punctuated by wild vocal shouts and a gritty sax solo by Gil Bernal, the track soared into the US Top 10 and UK Top 20, cementing DUANE's place as a fresh and unique voice in rock and roll. Interestingly, although not initially released as a single in the US, it became a major hit in the UK, climbing to number 6 and becoming his biggest British success at the time. Other singles from that era, like Some Kinda Earthquake and Shazam, continued the gritty, high-energy sound that had become DUANE's trademark. However, with Because They're Young, DUANE and producer Hazlewood shifted to a softer, more emotional tone. The song featured lush string arrangements and broader appeal, reaching number 4 on the US charts and peaking even higher in the UK at number 2. DUANE played a Dan Electro 6-string bass on the track and also made a cameo in the film of the same name, performing both Shazam and the title song. By the end of 1961, DUANE's time with RCA Records was winding down, and the relationship had soured. As word spread that he might leave the label, offers poured in from several major record companies. Eventually, DUANE and his management team struck a deal with RCA Records, signing a 3-year contract that took effect on January 1, 1962. Just over a month later, on February 3, DUANE married 18-year-old Miriam Johnson, who would later find fame as country singer Jessie Coulter. Their honeymoon was short-lived. DUANE was soon back in Los Angeles, preparing his first RCA album, Twistin' and Twangin'. However, the initial recording session on February 15 was a disaster and had to be scrapped. Producer Al Schmidt, recently promoted from engineer, was accustomed to working with fast-paced session players, quite different from the deliberate, detail-focused process DUANE and Hazlewood used in Phoenix, where the absence of a musicians' union allowed longer takes. A few weeks earlier, DUANE had run into Hazlewood, who offered to collaborate again. On February 19, Hazlewood officially rejoined DUANE at RCA's Hollywood studios, resuming his familiar role as producer while Schmidt returned to engineering duties. Throughout 1962, the revitalized partnership was highly productive, resulting in 4 albums and 3 singles. The third RCA single, Dance with the Guitar Man, brought DUANE back into the US Top 20, peaking at number 12, and even higher in the UK at number 4. The record featured backing vocals by the Rebellettes, a pseudonym for Darlene Love and the Blossoms. The formula proved successful enough that the next few singles followed a similar pattern, pairing Duane's twangy guitar with female vocals. But the returns began to diminish, and the chart positions slipped with each release. After that run, only one more Duane Eddy single would chart in the US for decades. Early in 1964, the son of rebel Rouser scraped into the Hot 100 at number 97, backed with a lush arrangement of Rachmaninoff's Story of Three Loves. But by then, the musical landscape had shifted, Beatlemania had arrived, and Duane's signature sound was fast becoming a relic of a pre-Beatles era. By the mid-1960s, Duane had sold over 12 million records and in 1965 released an instrumental album of Bob Dylan covers, which Dylan himself admired. In the 1970s he produced tracks for Phil Everly and Waylon Jennings, played lead guitar on B.J. Thomas's Rock and Roll Lullaby in 1972, and in 1975 returned to the UK Top 10 with Play Me Like You Play Your Guitar, a collaboration with Tony McCauley and Keith Potger, featuring female backing vocals and a performance on Top of the Pops. A 1977 version of You Are My Sunshine, featuring Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Duane's third wife Deed, made the country charts. In 1986, Duane made a surprise comeback with Art of Noise on a new version of Peter Gunn, which topped Rolling Stone's dance chart for 6 weeks, earned him a Grammy, and became a global hit, reaching number 6 in the UK, number 9 in Australia, number 11 in Germany, and number 50 in the US, making him the only instrumentalist to score UK top 10s in 4 different decades. In 1987, Capitol released the all-star album Duane Eddy, with tracks produced by Paul McCartney, Jeff Lynne, Ry Cooder and Art of Noise, and guest appearances by George Harrison, John Fogerty, James Burton, Steve Cropper, and original Rebels Larry Knechtel and Jim Horn, including a cover of McCartney's Rockstar theme. In 1992, Duane recorded a duet with Hank Marvin on a cover of Pipeline for Marvin's Into the Light album. His classic Rebel Rouser gained new life in 1994 when it was featured in Forrest Gump, while the Trembler, co-written with Ravi Shankar, was used in Natural Born Killers. That same year, he joined Carl Perkins and the Mavericks on Matchbox for the AIDS benefit album Red Hot Plus Country. In 1995, Duane played lead guitar on Foreigners Until the End of Time, a top 10 hit on the Adult Contemporary chart, and in 1996 contributed to Hans Zimmer's Broken Arrow soundtrack. Duane returned to the spotlight in 2010 with a sold-out show at London's Royal Festival Hall, leading to Road Trip, a well-received album produced by Richard Hawley and released in 2011, the same year he played Glastonbury Festival. In 2015, he added guitar parts to Bridge Over Troubled Water and an American trilogy for Elvis Presley's If I Can Dream album, with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, though he later expressed disappointment that much of his contribution was edited out. He took part in the Country Music Hall of Fame's Nashville Cats interview series in 2016, and in 2018 celebrated his 80th birthday with a UK tour alongside Robert Vinson, performing at the London Palladium and Manchester's Bridgewater Hall. 2 years later, Duane added guitar to Farther Along for the Johnny Cash and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra album and hinted he was working on a documentary and possibly an autobiography. In 2024, Duane was among the 66 guitarists credited on Mark Knopfler's charity single Going Home, which hit number 1 on Billboard's Rock Digital Song Sales chart and reached the UK Top 20, marking a historic late-career chart achievement. On a personal note, Duane's first marriage was to Carol Puckett, but the couple divorced before 1961. That same year, he married singer Miriam Johnson, and they had a daughter named Jennifer. The marriage ended in 1968, and Miriam, now using the name Jessie Coulter, went on to achieve success as a country artist and later married Waylon Jennings. Duane later wed Deed Abate, with whom he had 2 children, Linda and Chris. Sadly, on April 30, 2024, just 4 days after his 86th birthday, Duane Eddy passed away aged 86. He was survived by his third wife, Deed Abate, 5 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. And there you have it. Though Duane Eddy is no longer with us, his legacy still echoes through decades of rock music, and his twang lives on in every riff that followed. Thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe for more videos on iconic artists just like this. Take care and bye for now.